السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. Uh, we have finished the section of regarding the the Murji'ah. Of course, first we finished the Aqidah of Ahl Sunnah in Iman, and then we finished the one of the two bid'ahs uh, that actually is came out of this concept of Iman of Ahl Sunnah. One is Al Murji'ah, and the one we are starting now is Al Khawarij. Uh, so the Al Khawarij is a sect that started as political sect first. It didn't have an ideology in the beginning. It was just very simple, very straightforward, a political stand, and it developed into an ideology later on, and adopted what we know about Khawarij, what we're going to talk about. And the origin of Khawarij, where we know what happened with Sayyidina Osman radiallahu anhu when the people from Egypt came, about 1,500 people, and attacked him, and he was killed. Sayyidina Ali took over, and then there was a debate within the Hashimi and the Umayyah people, because Uthman was from Bani Umayyah. When Ali took over, the people from the Hashimi side, from the Umayyah side, they said we need to take the Nuqim al-Had, revenge from these people who killed him. And then we will look after the Khilafah, who is going to be the Khalifa. Sayyidina Ali said, I was appointed already, and I am the Khalifa now. Let's get united around the Khalifa, and then when things settles, we can do that. And that is because there was like 1,500 of those who came from Egypt in Medina, and it was very hard for him to stand against this. There had to be, his opinion was, it has to be wait until he get more people from the Sahaba come to Medina, and stuff from Iraq, from they were like sent to for ghazawat and fighting and stuff. So they come back so he can strengthen his power over those people. But those people were already there. So Muawiyah radiallahu anh was in Sham, and Aisha radiallahu anha, Ummana, Aisha al-Mu'mineen, and Talha ibn Abdullah was Zubayr ibn al-Awwam radiallahu anhuma. The three of them went against Ali, and they went out to fight him in what was known as Waqat al-Jamal, the camel fight. And it was called that because it ended with the killing of the camel of Aisha, because it was in the middle of the fight, and it was like doing all this kind of like agitating the people and stuff. So it was killed, and then Sayyidina Ali took her very respectfully and sent her back, and uh, Talha and Zubair, they went to Sham to Muawiyah. One of them, uh, Talha, in the way back, he was killed because in the way there, he remembered that Rasulullah said, "You are going to," he said to Ali in front of them, "You are going to," he said to the Sahaba, "You are going to fight Ali, and you are going to be the aggressors." not him. So he remembered this because they passed the place where Rasulullah said that. So he remembered that. So he went back right away to Ali, but he was attacked in the way and was killed. Uh, Now, this is وقعة الجمل. After that, Muawiyah radiallahu anh, he said we have to take the revenge first, and then Ali ibn Abi Talib had his army, and he marched to Muawiyah. Then the army of Muawiyah, there was Amr ibn al-As, and he played it. Sayyidina Amr radiallahu anh played a kind of a trick, and war is all about tricks. So he played a trick on Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, the envoy of Sayyidina Ali. There was Amr ibn al-As, the envoy of Sayyidina Muawiyah, radiallahu anh, and Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, the envoy of Ali, al-Hakamin, the two uh, arbitrators. Then in this arbitration, uh, Amr ibn al-As played a trick on him, on Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, and he took the pledge from him without Abu Musa al-Ash'ari knowing what happened. In a story, yes, but this is not our point here. Our point is a group of the soldiers of Sayyidina Ali were from these 1,500 Egyptians, the people who killed Osman. They were still in the Medina and still in the army. He cannot do anything about them yet. So some of these people, they said, "Oh, to Sayyidina Ali, you agreed to have an arbitration in the validity of your Khilafah, so you are in doubt of being a Khalifa, and you shouldn't doubt about being Khalifa. This is not correct, and you are making arbitration in the ruling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't accept that." And they left his army, and they camped in some place called Hurawra. That's why Khawarij are called Al-Haruriyya, because they camped first in Hurawra. Then Sayyidina Ali tried to talk to them. He sent Ibn Abbas and stuff. No way. So he attacked them in a fight called Waqa'at al-Nahrawan. In Waqa'at al-Nahrawan, Sayyidina Ali killed almost all of them, and whoever went away, escaped and stuff, he just said, don't kill the 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 wounded, and don't make sabi, don't take the women as slaves, as women slaves. So because they used to, their ideology at that time was very simple. They were angry because he made the arbitration. It wasn't so extended and extensive and went into the people who sin, what happened and this. So we have to understand that when we talk about Khawarij of that time and how Sayyidina Ali dealt with them, it is not the Khawarij of later on and the Khawarij of our time now. It's different because the ideology developed, and they, like I said, after Nahrawan, the Bani Umayyah came, and there was the remnants of them. They tried to do some, revolutions in the east, and Al-Muhallab ibn Abi Sufra وابن Ziyad, they actually fought them, and they never have had any state or dawla or a central power in the east. They had only throughout history they had Dawlat Bani Rustum in the west in the east in the west side of the Islamic world where Morocco and Tunisia and this place Bani Rustum they were Khawarij. But it was like 70 years and then they were defeated and they used to kill the ulama of Ahl Sunnah and stuff like that. So throughout history, like I said, throughout time after time, they started to try to justify their actions. Why those people who went against Sayyidina Ali, radiallahu anh, why they said, oh, because he made a mistake, so it's a sin by taking an arbitration. So they said then whoever make a sin is a kafir because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said la hukma illa lillah, and that was their slogan in Nahrawan, in the fight of Nahrawan. La hukma illa lillah, there is no rule but the rule of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, like Sayyidina Ali said, kalimatu haqq urida biha batil. Correct saying, but it meant a wrong meaning. The saying is correct, la hukma illah, but in this context, it is wrong. You can't do that. And they said, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran made allowed people to get an arbitrator between a man and his wife, if they have فَبْعَثُوا بِحَكَمٍ مِّنْ أَهْلِهِ وَحَكَمٍ مِّن أَهْلِهَا, get an arbitrator from her people and arbitrator from his people, in yurida islahan, if they want to have peace. So they said, so said Ibn Abbas, he said, if Allah said in a marriage contract to have arbitration, you don't want Ali radiallahu anhu to have arbitration in the blood of all these Muslims to make that are about to be killed. So it was wrong. They are wrong. They are Ahl Bid'ah, but they started to justify and came up with all these points that we are going to talk about. And they went into the Iman and how it's assembled according to what we saw with the Ahl Sunnah and Murji'ah. They had another assembly of Iman we are going to talk about. This is how they started. Rasulullah SAW actually said in hadith a prophecy that they will appear. They will appear because in Sahih Muslim, the hadith, Rasulullah SAW was given some of the bounty from fighting and stuff. So a man stood up and he said his name is Dhul Khuwaisira, and he's from Tamim, from Bani Tamim. He said, oh, Prophet of Allah, be just here, be just, give us in just. So Rasulullah SAW looked at him, he said, what are you talking about? If I'm not just, who I would be, a loser and a failure if I am not just. So Sayyidina Umar said, Rasulullah, give me the permission, I'll just cut off his head with my sword now. Now, of course, what Dhul Khuwaisira said is a kufr, but Rasulullah didn't want to kill anybody at that point because like we said, he didn't want to say, because people will hear that he cut off somebody's head while he was dividing the bounties. So people interpret it in a different way. Rasulullah has very, very far-sighted. So he said, no, leave him to Umar, leave him. And he said, some of his descendants will you will look at them and you will feel very humble in your prayer compared to their prayer, in your reading Quran compared to their reading Quran. But they are going to go through deen in and out without a trace of deen in their hearts. They are going to read Quran and it will be up here, up to their neck. They are not going to understand it beyond that. Only the shape, the words, but they are not going to understand it, and they will go through the deen in and out with no trace of any deen left, like an arrow goes through the the hunt, the hunted animal, and if you look at the arrow after that, you don't see a drop of blood or a piece of meat came out. So he means that they will leave deen without any trace of deen. That's why the ulama who discussed the Khawarij, a big group of ulama of hadith and fiqh, they said they are kuffar because this hadith, he says they go in and out, no trace left. So like al-Bukhari, Abu Bakr ibn al-Arabi, al-Qurtubi, many of the people of hadith and fiqh, they said Khawarij, they are kuffar, they are not Muslim. Other fuqaha and ulama hadith, they said no, they are people of bid'ah because they still have the origin of Islam with them, but they are people of bid'ah, and they are one of the big one of the five um, big sects in Islam. So from hadith also we can see that Rasulullah is in his prophecy, he mentioned that they will be known as very, very religious people. They make deen very seriously. They take deen very seriously. The because at the time of Ali, they used to the Sahaba, they used to hear the sounds of Quran from their camp, from far, from afar. They hear the reading, like they say, it's like the sound of bees. Aziz. يسموه Aziz. They call it Aziz, the bees, Aziz, the Aziz of the bees. So these guys, with their all the time reading Quran and stuff. So they are very religious, but alas, they are religious, but in the wrong way. So it doesn't matter how much. That's why people and in our madhab of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we say it is not a matter of reading Quran. It's reading Quran right. If you read 100 times Quran and you understand it wrong, if you read it one time, understand it right, it's much better. It doesn't matter how many times you read it. Important thing is to read it correctly, to read it right, to come up with understanding of Ahl Sunnah. So what were the general sayings of Khawarij in their ideology? Like we said about Murji'ah, there was Murji'ah in the beginning. There was Murji'ah that actually Murji'ah, they started as an ideological sect, and then they were adopted by kings and stuff like that. Khawarij, like in Mu'tazila started as ideological and then they went into political. Khawarij starts political and then they went into ideological. So that's how they developed. So Khawarij first were Khawarij of Ali ibn Abi Talib, then Khawarij after Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu, and all over history after that until the our time now, Khawarij of our time, that actually reappeared first in Egypt in the 70s and I was one of the people who debated with them physically, sitting in apartments and halls and making debates. And they said, "Oh, you." After we finished, they said, "Oh, you are a kafir. We're going to kill you if you use the street." That happened in the 70s with Mustafa Shukri. The second set of Khawarij were Jama'ah, the Islamic, the armed Islamic group in Algeria with Al-Zawabri. The third one is Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi in Sham. These are the three groups in our recent time from the 70s to within these 50 years. So um, the so the ideology developed over time, like I said, and over the situation, the development of the situation of they're facing as well. Uh, so the common points of the sect itself in ideological terms. First of all, they said actions are all in inside Iman, the concept of Iman. They are all inside the concept of Iman. So if you lose one action, if you do one action wrong, you lose all of Iman. So you are a kafir. That's how they get to the point that if you do a sin, you are a kafir. Because they said, if you guys remember the graph I mentioned before, one and two, one is knowledge, two is one is knowledge, معرفة, two is تصديق, like accepting and relaying truthful. The talk is truthful, and the third is commitment. And commitment we split to two, 3A and 3B. Commitment, either commitment uh, uh, to, to all the action that will be commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or the actual doing of these rulings of Allah. And we said that Murji'ah said one and two, معرفة and تصديق, and just accept and تصديق. Yes, you are right. These are enough. Ahl Sunnah said 1, 2, and 3A. You have to say معرفة and تصديق and commitment with your tongue and with your heart, that I accept everything that comes. I'm not denying anything of it. And Al-Khawarij said, no, Iman is 1, 2, 3A, and 3B. So they said the whole circle is included in the Iman al-Mujmal. It's all one thing. And they give an example. They said it's like the number 10. If you take one of 10, the reality of 10 doesn't exist anymore. It's become 9, right? So they said if you take away 1 from 10, then then there is no 10 anymore. They said if you take one action from Iman, there is no Iman anymore at all. If part of it gone, all of it gone. All of it is gone. Of course, Ahl Sunnah said no. You are given the wrong example. This is in the world of numbers, but in the worlds of الأعراض والأجسام, like in the world of materials, materialistic world, it doesn't work like that. You can take one part and the rest will still have the ID of the same as before. Like if you have a table with lots of dishes of food, you can say this is food. Go take one dish of it, the rest is still the food, is still there. So it is not like the number. If there is a group of men standing, you say these are men, and then one of them left, the rest are still the same ID of men for the group. So it is not like that. It's not like the number. Iman is not like the number. Iman is like people and materials in this sense. So this is a wrong thing. Um, so they agreed with Murji'ah in one thing, that Iman, if you remember, Iman does not increase or decrease. Murji'ah say Iman does not increase and decrease, because you say one and two, you cannot, they cannot increase and decrease. Iman is constant. Even you remember in Ahnaf, Iman is constant. It doesn't increase and decrease. Khawarij said, yes, Iman does not increase and decrease. But the difference between Murji'ah and Khawarij, one said it doesn't increase and decrease. Take away all the actions. One said put all the actions. See how they, Ahl Sunnah in the middle. Ahl Sunnah said not. No, the commitment and the type of action has to be presented, but it increases and decreases in the sense of you do more of this, more of that, or less sometimes, or you do sins or stuff. This increase Iman and decrease Iman. So that's what the one of the things Khawarij said. And based on that, they said that all the actions of sins are kufr actions. There is no difference between an action of kufr and action of sin. They are all the same. They even said that Adam alayhi salam, Nabi, the Prophet Adam, he made kufr, actually. Why? Because Allah said, وَعَصَى آدَمَ وَعَصَى آدَمُ رَبَّهُ فَغَوَى. Said, see, Allah said Adam made a ma'asiyah, so he made kufr. You're totally nuts. So they said all the actions are the same. There is nothing called sin and nothing called not sin. They were of course they were divided, like Murji'ah. They divided into many, like Azariqa or Khawarij Najidat, into like there are like 20 sects, subsects of Khawarij. Some of them said there is no ma'asiyah whatsoever, and some of them said there is ma'asiyah, but if you make any kabira, you are kafir. If you make zina, sariqa, steal, or adultery, or killing, this is kufr. So some made takfir with major sins, some made takfir with all sins, major and minor. But they all had the idea of sins are kufr. There is no action of kufr and action of ma'asiyah. And they had they went to Quran and they read all the ayahs that says that ma'asiyatillah, the sin you made with Rasulullah. But of course, they don't understand what we said before, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He mentioned thing in Quran, He mentioned the high end of it, which is the kufr. So ma'asiyah in Quran, when it comes, it doesn't mean sin, except of course with Adam, because as Adam, he's a prophet. So, but in when it talks about ma'asiyah, it talks about kufr, but it doesn't mean the sin we mean in Quran. وَمَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَإِنَّ لَهُ نَارَ جَهَنَّمَ. It doesn't mean here whoever make ma'asiyah a sin. No, it means that whoever make the sin of refusing the talk of the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and refusing the sayings of Rasulullah. This is not a ma'asiyah, this is action of kufr, but calling it ma'asiyah in Quran, they made them confused. They say, no, 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 ma'asiyah is a sin. So sin is kufr. So see how they went with the understanding. They made the word sin in Quran carries more than what uh, what it should. They changed the meaning of the word sin in Quran, actually. And they said also in Quran, there are in Hadith, there are Hadiths that Rasulullah SAW called actions of sins. He called it as a kufr, like two. Rasulullah SAW in Sahih Muslim, he said there will be two attributes in people that I don't see them yet. They are kufr, attacking the uh, the descendancy of people, and weeping and doing like this, for for people when they die. So he called them. He said, "See, Rasulullah said, two things are attributes of they are attributes of kufr." Rasulullah said, "Ayyuma abdin abaqa min mawali faqad kafar." Any slave who ran away from his owners, he's a kafir. And he said, "Don't come back. Don't become kuffar after I depart uh, by fighting each other." So you see, if two groups of Mu'mins fight each other, they are kuffar. Of course, this is wrong. It's all a wrong way of understanding, and we will talk about every hadith of these, how Ahl Sunnah understand it. They say Rasulullah said, "La yazni zani hina yazni wa mu'min." The adulteress does not make adultery when he's a mu'min, and the thief does not make this do this the theft while he's a mu'min, and the drunk does not drink the wine while he is a mu'min. Said, if he is not a mu'min, then he is a kafir. Here you go. So they developed this kind of understanding, and they had their and also based on that, they said then there is no tawbah, there is no repentance or forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unless you go back to Islam, because it's not a matter of forgiveness, it's a matter of you have to go back to become a Muslim again, because the person who do a sin, he is a kafir already. So it's not about repentance, it's about going back to Islam, because whoever do the sin has to he's going to go to Jahannam forever and ever, and he will never come back out of it. So it's not about you have to make Islam all over if it is accepted. So these are the main points that the Khawarij actually came up with in the ideology of Khawarij, how they look. That's why we see them now, the Khawarij of today, they say that they make the essence. Here is a very important point, which I actually based all my refutation of ISIS. I based it on this point. What do we understand from all these things that we discuss now? What is the main point of this ideology? The main point is these people came to actions that are not kufr, and they said it is kufr, that it is kufr. This is the main point. It doesn't matter what actions. It doesn't matter that it's a minor, it's a major. This is not the relevant point. Some people say throughout history, like I said, say some subsects said this, some sects that, some sects made takfir to each other. One of the heads of Khawarij used to say, I have the urge to make takfir to somebody. When I wake up and I don't see anybody, I look at the mirror and I make takfir to myself. This is written in their history. So he has to make takfir to somebody in the morning. So he doesn't find anybody, so he made takfir to himself. Some of them said كفر نفسه, يعني he made takfir to himself. They made takfir to each other. So it's an urge, and it all revolves around one thing: getting actions that are not kufr and make it kufr. So we don't have to stop at what kind of actions are they. Oh, because some people said, oh, but the Khawarij these days, the Khawarij of Baghdadi, they don't say that the one who steal is a kafir, or the one, it doesn't matter. It's a new subsect where the people of Khawarij nowadays, which we're going to talk about, but I will say a word about it now. The people of Baghdadi now, what they do, they say that those people who they call like people who don't go and become a follower, give bay'ah to al-Baghdadi, or those who negotiate with the Americans in order, like Taliban. They say Taliban, when they negotiated, they are kuffar. خلاص, they are kuffar, مرتدون. And they say that we actually killed them first. Our first priority to kill these people, Taliban and Ahl Sunnah. We killed them because they didn't join us. They didn't say that this is guys the Khalifa. So why they use actually to make peace with the Nusayriya of Bashar in Syria, in order to let their troops go and kill Ahl Sunnah, because they say those are kuffar asliyin, those are like Christian and Jews. We leave them because Allah said, if you meet any of them, tell them what is in the ayah, what is the truth, what the truth is, and take them. ثم أبلغه مأمنة, and take him to safety. So they used to get like Nasara and they take them to safety. They find a Muslim, they kill him right away. Why? Because he's a murtad. So the core of their problem is going to actions that are not kufr and make it kufr. What action? Some say this action, some say the other action, some like the Khawarij of these days. Some say no, it is about certain action, other actions people do. But the common thing is they make it kufr, and they say those who do it murtadun, and they has to be killed. They have to be killed before even fighting the non-Muslims, like the original non-Muslims. These are better than those uh, murtadun. So having said that, we are going, inshallah, to tackle all these points they said in detail, and to refute one by one what did they say, because it is very important to understand what the Khawarij, the original Khawarij, say, and what the Khawarij of today's are saying, and understand, like we discussed about Murja, Madakhila, and the Ikhwan, and these people as well, we have to refute, and we will do that inshallah in next time, next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.